Conqueror. Conqueror was intended to be the pinnacle of the development of Royal Navy battleships. King George V class battleships. The last British battleship series to be built comprised of 5 King George V class ships, and was the largest in the world in the 1930s through 40s. They played a very prominent role in World War II, but compared with new battleships developed at the time by other powers, the King George V class ships had rather modest characteristics. In an effort to curb the naval arms race in the late 1930s, the British limited themselves to 14-inch or 356mm main battery guns due to political considerations. The armor wasn't able to reliably withstand 15 to 16-inch or 380 to 406mm shells, and the ships had poor anti-torpedo protection and low seakeeping characteristics. Lion-class battleships. Japan's refusal to comply with the restrictions on naval weapons allowed other countries to increase the displacement and main battery limits that were applied in the construction of the King George V class battleships. In 1938, the British designed a project for the most powerful and fastest capital ships in the history of the Royal Navy, armed with new 16-inch or 406mm artillery. The first 2 of the 6 planned Lion-class battleships were laid down the following year, but the outbreak of World War II halted their construction. The project was revised, taking into account the experience gained in war in 1942 and 1944, but was never implemented. Battleship Vanguard. A serious delay in the production of the 16-inch triple turrets for the new Lion-class battleships left the British fleet in the early 1940s without any capital ships to counter the German and Japanese ships that were under construction. A temporary measure was a project that was based on the Lion-class design and used 15-inch or 381mm twin turrets built for the World War I battlecruisers that had ended up being converted into aircraft carriers. The only ship of her class, Vanguard, was laid down in 1941 and was revised during her construction to reflect lessons learned in the war, and was not completed until 1946. Main battery shells. The 15-inch or 381mm caliber 42 Mark I gun was the most numerous and longest-serving main battery gun on Royal Navy battleships, from 1915 until 1959, up to the last battleship, HMS Vanguard. The 16-inch 406mm caliber 45 Mark II gun was designed for the Lion-class battleships and fired a shell that was heavier than that of the same caliber guns on the Nelson-class battleships, and was 25% more effective than the Royal Navy's 14-inch or 356mm and 15-inch shells. The 16.5 419mm caliber 45 Mark I gun was offered by Vickers for the new G3 and N3 class capital ships that were designed in the early 1920s, but the final choice was other calibers. Admiral Bruce Fraser. Bruce Fraser, born 1888, died 1981, was an admiral of the fleet in the Royal Navy until 1948. A professional gunnery officer, Fraser served as Third Sea Lord from 1939 to 1942 and was responsible at the Admiralty for ship design and construction, as well as arms development and production. During the war years, Fraser commanded the Home Fleet and the British Pacific Fleet. He is covered with the glory of victory in the Battle of the North Cape in December 1943, the last battle of battleships in European waters. From 1948 to 1951, Fraser served as First Sea Lord of the Royal Navy. 419mm main battery gun. Preliminary data for the development of the 16.5-inch or 419mm gun with a .45 caliber barrel length was provided to the British Admiralty Artillery Board by the Vickers Company in 1920, while the main battery was being selected for the new battleship and battlecruiser. 18-inch or 457mm and 16-inch 406mm guns, respectively, were chosen. If development of the 419mm gun had continued, it would have been very convenient to create a mount based on the 16-inch or 406mm turret of the Lion-class battleships by replacing a number of supply and drive mechanisms. Dual-purpose RP-10 Mark I Star gun mount. These dual-purpose guns were placed on King George V class battleships and Dido class light cruisers. However, the mounts proved to be unreliable and difficult to use at first. The issues were fixed in new gun mounts designed for Battleship Vanguard. They were automated and had a radar fire control system. At their maximum elevation angle of 70 degrees, they could launch a 36 kilogram or 79.4 pound HE shells over distances of up to 22 kilometers or 13 2/3 miles with a speed of 814 meters per second or 2,670.6 feet per second, and maintain a fire rate of up to 18 shots per barrel per minute. Bofors Mark VI AA mount. Specifically designed by the British for battleships and aircraft carriers, this anti-aircraft mount was put into service after the end of World War II. The total weight of the entire system was 21 tons. The effective rate of fire was 80 to 90 shots per minute per barrel. Ammunition for the 40mm Mark IX air-cooled guns was transported automatically from 36-round feed blocks, in contrast to the 4-round chargers that were usually for the Bofors. Bofors Stag Mark II AA mount. Dual Stag or stabilized tachymetric anti-aircraft gun systems were the pinnacle of the development of the Bofors AA mounts for British ships. The stabilized mount had its very own effective fire control system based on the Type 262 radar, as well as hydraulic drive unit. Despite its combat efficiency, the Stag turned out to be too complex for everyday use on a ship. Type 281B radar station. During World War II, the state of detection and fire control systems made an enormous difference in naval battles. The British proved this well when Duke of York practically destroyed Scharnhorst in the Battle of the North Cape on December 26, 1943. From 1941, the Royal Navy used the Type 281 radar as their main radar early warning system. It was able to detect aircraft at a distance of 220 kilometers, or 136.7 miles, at a flight altitude of 6 kilometers, or 3.73 miles, and at a distance of 120 kilometers, or 74.6 miles, at a flight altitude of 1.5 kilometers, or 0.93 miles. The surveillance radar was able to control fire directed at both water and air targets. Battleship Conqueror. Conqueror could have been designed and built if 16.5-inch main battery guns had been created and tested in the early 1920s. In the late 1930s, the British learned the actual characteristics of a Bismarck-class battleship and realized that they couldn't have a similar project. By giving up on the construction of the Lion-class ships, the British would have been able to design a new project with more powerful guns, reinforced armor, and common features of the Lion and Vanguard hulls. It could also be equipped with similar systems for AA defense, fire control, and radio detection. Conqueror, Warship's Coat of Arms. The development and use of the Royal Navy warship's coat of arms was ordered in 1918 when a special committee was created and the curator of the Imperial War Museum was appointed as the Admiralty Advisor on Heraldry. At different times, the Royal Navy had 9 ships named HMS Conqueror. 6 of them were sailing ships, and the last surface ship, an Orion-class battleship, was decommissioned in 1922. Laid down in 1939, the Lion-class battleship bearing this name was never finished. Therefore, the only holder of the coat of arms was a nuclear-powered attack submarine, HMS Conqueror, commissioned in 1969, decommissioned 1990. Or kind of do damage to kind of angled. Not the best angling, not the worst, but man, I forgot about that. Let's see if I can get the conch to work again. Because there are those moments where I get it to work right, and then I immediately screw it up, because by the time I realize, oh, this was correct. Does ever those. I wonder how many shimmers we're gonna get in this game. Place your bets now. How many shimmers? I'm guessing at least 2. Come on. Place your bets now. How many shimmers? Let's find out. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. Let's be fair. Enemy ships. Okay, so there's 3 destroyers, and 2 of them are shimikazes. Only 1! Gearings! Okay. I fully wasn't expecting that. I was expecting more shimmer than gearing, but hey. Both of them still kill you by long-range, very hard-hitting torpedoes. Functioning Mark 14 versus his long lances doesn't really matter. Oh, we're the one with 2 shimmers. That's interesting. Got a nice little flip. Every team, one shimmer and two gearings. Our side, it's one gearing and two shimmers. Okay. That's nice. There's no symmetry there. Academic and all that, but still. My fine German friend, are you chance going to C? Or sorry, not C, to B? If so, best of luck with that. But then again, you're probably a little bit more certainly you're built for that kind of extremely close-up brawling than I am. Well, I know there's gearing in there somewhere. Unless this Go on, two. Oh right, and they each have quintuple launchers. Right. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh. Yeah, sorry.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Fire at GK or else. Oh, answer that question. Alsace it is. Nice turning. Oh! Hey! Good job, gearing! You got the other gearing! Ah! And so it begins. Fire! Da, da, da. It's a pleasure to burn. Okay, good news, the main is not looking at me. We got worries here, gentlemen. We got problems. Right here, never sit. Shit. Okay. That could be... I think that might be a shimmer, actually. If it comes out to just astern of me, then it's the other gearing. I know where he is now. Ah, it's a GK. Angle. Okay, he's not paying attention.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
I was really hoping that. Hey, I know it is the gearing. Yep, those gearing torpedoes. No mistaking those. Ah, that lucky man, just short.
Enemy battleship sighted.
I'm surprised that he's actually gotten away with this. Because at this point, yeah, I was about to say. Because at this point, he's within detection range. Frenchman, while I love your, shall we say, extreme zeal to try to fight a Gross-Kurfürst up close, you're a light cruiser. You're a French Worcester, and all that entails. Ooh, shattered. You're being held together by duct tape and a prayer. You're not being held together at all. Okay, Shimmer's got the last lap on that one. I think he blundered into accidentally getting hit on that one too.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Do I think I can hit him? Yeah. Oh, fucking course you do. Well! As I say, it's time to get the good fight up north. Listen, the good fight in.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Designated target.
The man is looking. I'm about to run out of map. Quickly, broadsides. Screw it. Let's keep going. I'm generally slightly surprised. Ooh, it's gonna hurt. Not as much as I was expecting. I was expecting. Ah! Two fires from 2 units! Yes! Actually, can I just go parallel? I'm gonna use a superhero here. It's worth. That's not parallel, that's waddling in.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Good news is, I can at least get away. There's bigger fish to fry. For the moment.
Enemy battleship sunk. We sank their
Tis
battleship.
good, sir! Yeah, man. I have successfully made him need to come down, so that's nice. So,
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Teammate, I need
I
your
kind of
support.
need your backup here, actually. Okay, no, so the GK's got that. I'm...
Torpedoes to starboard.
yeah. To be fair, I'm actually gonna come back and do a fight up. I need to. I kind of want to actually turn around as it is again. Further south.
Alle Stationen, Werfe Feuerunterstützung.
Our team has taken the lead.
Kill him! He's the shimmer watching me. She's not
Torpedoes
good.
to port. Torpedoes direct front. Victory is in sight.
I love the fact that I could identify exactly who it was. That was actually
Breach.
probably
We're taking
going to
on
be the
water.
problem.
Torpedoes dead ahead. Problem solved, sir.
At least not stupid. That's good. He's not stupid enough to put out his own fire. I look like 2 hits there, but okay. Or sorry, not 2 hits, 3 hits there, but okay. Wait, no. Thinking about it. Okay, yeah. So the Sherman's just gonna take the L and not make a fight of it. It's not worth it.
Alle Stationen, Feuer auf das Ziel.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Burn him out. Okay. You know what? You know what? I like that. That'll work. Finally, the one that'll actually goddamn get put into the video for the Conqueror.